Now that Mr. Trump's attorney has had his chance, it's time for the government to present their case, made by Mr. Michael R. Dreeben, counselor to the Special Counsel, Department of Justice.
This court has never recognized absolute criminal immunity for any public official. Petitioner, however, claims that a former president has permanent criminal immunity for his official acts unless he was first impeached and convicted. His novel theory would immunize former presidents for criminal liability for bribery, treason, sedition, murder, and here conspiring to use fraud to overturn the results of an election and perpetuate himself in power. Such presidential immunity has no foundation in the Constitution. The framers knew too well the dangers of a king who could do no wrong. They therefore devised a system to check abuses of power, especially the use of official power for private gain.
I think Mr. Dreeben has stated the point quite effectively. The Supreme Court has never recognized absolute immunity for any public official. This novel idea has no foundation in the Constitution of the United States and would seem to contradict the foundational principles that the United States would be a nation of laws, not men. Justice Thomas questioned the scope of Mr. Dreeben's statement.
Mr. Dreeben, does the president have immunity, or are you saying that there's no immunity, presidential immunity, even for official acts?
Yes, Justice Thomas, but I think that it's important to put in perspective the position that we are offering the court today. The president, as the head of the Article II branch, can assert as applied Article II objections to criminal laws that interfere with an exclusive power possessed by the president or that prevent the president from accomplishing his constitutionally assigned functions.
Mr. Dreeben points out that the president does not have the power to violate laws that would prevent him from performing his duties under Article II, what's commonly referred to in this case as core powers. For example, if Congress passed a law criminalizing the appointment of members of certain groups to office, the president could point to his Article II appointment powers to say such a law could not apply to his because it would be unconstitutional. Now, during her questioning of the respondent, Justice Jackson tried to deal with a concern the petitioner had brought.
All right, the final sort of set of questions that I have to do with what I do take as a very legitimate concern about prosecutorial abuse, about future presidents being targeted for things that they have done in office. I take that concern. I think it's a real thing. But I wonder whether some of it might also be mitigated by the fact that existing administrations have a self-interest in protecting the presidency, that they understand that if they go after the former guy, soon they're going to be the former guy, and they will have created precedent that will be problematic.
Why haven't previous presidents been criminally charged for their actions in office? I believe there are several reasons. First, we are in a unique election cycle where a previous president is again running for office against the man who defeated him. It's like having two first-term incumbent presidents both running for office. Mr. Trump is not just a previous president, but an extremely polarizing one at that. Simply look at the claims of those who support him and those who oppose him. Second, we have witnessed over the last couple of decades a willingness, especially from one political party, to take short-term gains for long-term losses. Simply look at the Senate getting rid of the filibuster for Supreme Court nominees, which quickly led to getting rid of it for all judicial nominees. In short, the traditions that have allowed competing parties to peacefully coexist have been abandoned, just as George Washington warned us. The alternate domination of one faction over another, sharpened by the spirit of revenge natural to party dissension, which in ages and countries has perpetuated the most hard enormities, is itself a frightful despotism.